Okay, I hope my screen is visible to you. Yeah. Yesterday we discussed that classes and the types of classes, right? Today we're going to discuss that objects and the constructors, and also the this keyword. Um, Majorly we'll cover the entire topics in the class by this class. Okay. Right. Right. We already seen what is a class, right? What is a class? Class means it is simply like a blueprint, right? And now what will be the object? Object will be the physical entity for blueprint, right? Normally class is like a one prototype or something. Object is the physical entity, what your physically appearance that is thing. By using a one blueprint you can create a multiples of objects, right? That was the thing. And how can we create an object? How can we create an object in the while you are creating an object, what are the things involved? How we can create an object? Create an object, suppose for the class suppose for the class mm, for the class dog is a class, suppose you think. Okay. How can we create an object? Simply you are using the syntax of dog d1 new dog of. Okay, simply you can write like this. And in this dog is a class name, or you can normally write a data type simply. Okay, it will be the non-primitive data type. Right. Okay, sorry for that. Right, I think I am now audible, right? Am I audible now? Okay, right. uh, will come from the start, right? In that, first, uh, in a class, suppose class is like a simply blueprint. In that class we have to create a physical entity that will be the object is the physical entity for your blueprint. And how can we create an object? Suppose we are taking the class dog as an example. Class dog as an example, how can you create an object? Simply like d1 equals to new dog of. This dog is simply like a non-primitive data type. Okay, and d1 equals to new dog of. This new is allocating some memory in your JVM. New is helps to allocating memory for your object in the JVM. Right? We'll see one by one what the things and all. Here, dog is a mm, class data type. Okay, class data type, and d1 is the reference variable. D1 is reference variable. Okay, next, new is the keyword, helps to allocate memory for your object, right? And this dog of is a default constructor. Dog of is a default constructor. Simply we are creating an object for the classes like this, right? Object creation. You can create object creation like this. In the object creation, what are the terms involved is this is the thing. What the class name you are mentioned, suppose if you are mentioned like a dog, then you can simply, it was a dog here you can use, and it was a anything, it was something like a one variable. That reference variable, by using that reference variable only you can access the class methods and the properties, right? Class methods and the properties you can you can use by using this reference variable only, right? And this is a default constructor. What is a constructor and all, we'll see that. Simply the constructor is nothing but we already know how to create an object, right? So directly we'll move to the constructor, and after that we are working on it. Constructor, right? In the constructor, first one is simply what is a constructor. Okay, what is a constructor? Constructor is like a simple method. It is also like a simple method, but the difference is but the difference is uh, in that first one, the first difference is that method name, uh, that means method name always with the class name. For the constructor, if you are writing a constructor, that constructor name always with the class name only. Suppose dog of, here you can see it is with a class name only, right? It is one method, but you are using the class name as a method name. That is the thing. And the second thing, Constructor has no return type. Constructor has no return type. Constructor has no return type. Okay, this is the major things, the difference between that constructor and a method. Method you can, if you are creating a method, mostly you can write a return type. It will be the void, or it will be the int, or it will be the double, anything depends on your execution, depends on your return value, you can write that. But here you are not writing any return value. Okay, constructor always runs when you are creating an object. We'll see that one also, right? Simply constructor is like this only. Constructor is also like a simple method, but the difference is always the constructor name would be with the class name, and the constructor has no return type, right? It was the thing. Right. Mm, okay. uh, it is the constructor basic thing. And now we are seeing the what are the types of constructor. Types of constructor. In this first one, default constructor. Default constructor is nothing but suppose if you are using like this, right? Dog d1 equals to new dog 1. It is a default constructor. That means you are not creating any constructor. Your Java or your JVM inbuilt creating one constructor when you are creating an object. It is the default constructor. It was creating by your JVM. It is creating by your JVM, then you are creating the object, right? If you are not creating any constructor also, default constructor is lies. That is the thing, that is the most thing. um, it is the default constructor. And right. Default constructor, we see that. And constructor with no parameters. Constructor with no argument. Constructor with no arguments, that means you are writing the constructor and you are not passing any arguments. We will see this. Okay, sorry for that. Today my Eclipse is not working, because of that I am using that online compiler. Okay, please don't mind. Right. The same what I am doing here, you can do it in a Eclipse. It's not an issue. Okay, it is the simple program, right? Mm. All right. In this, suppose I want to write a method. I have to write it. That will be the mm, normally we see how to create an object already, right? So here also we can see once void show is my method. In this I can write simply system.out.println of welcome, welcome as my message, right? Mm. and and he can here I can create an object. How can I create an object? My class name here is main, right? So I can simply write main, suppose m1 equals to new main of, right? Simply I can write like this. Wait a minute, I think it would be a network issue. Okay, right. Wait a minute. Right. Now I am audible, right? Okay. Right. Uh, Normally we are creating object for this m1 dot. Suppose you want to call the show method, you can write m1 dot show off, right? M1 dot show off. If you are calling like this, normally you can create an object like this. This main is called a class name. This main is called your class name, and this main is default constructor. You are not creating any constructor here, but your JVM will be create a constructor for that. Okay, will be create a constructor for that, and this new is allocating some memory in a JVM, and m1 is the reference variable. By using this reference variable only, you can access the properties and the methods we already seen in the previous classes, right? How can we call that methods and all? Now what we have to do is we have to create one constructor. Default constructor we are not able to create. Now we are can create a constructor with no arguments. How can we create that? One is main of, right? First thing, that constructor name should be with a class name. Okay, this suppose here my class name is main, so I have to use main here also, and I have not passing any arguments there. Okay, this is the thing. And system.out.println of constructor running. Okay, constructor running. I am not calling this constructor, but it will run. Once we'll see. Okay, constructor running, but I am not calling this method. When you are creating an object means, then it will call the constructor. First you are creating an object, at the time uh, by defaultly your constructor will call. That is the thing. Suppose if you are creating, I am main m1, this is the object creation. When you are creating an object, that constructor values can be assigned and the call. Rejoin, rejoin. Once try to rejoin. అన్మ్యూట్ చేయండి, అది మళ్ళీ యూట్యూబ్లో ఉంటుంది ఎందుకు. Right. Okay, right. Normally, when we are creating an object, then the constructor will call. When you are creating an object, the constructor will call. Rejoin అందరి కోసం. Okay. When we are creating an object, then the constructor will call by defaultly. Okay. Suppose it is a non-parameterized constructor. This constructor can you mention the modifiers like public, private, and all the things. By that means you cannot access and you cannot you are maintaining some restriction to your methods. That is the thing. And suppose we see that non-parameter constructor, why the constructor is mainly used for setting the hardcore values. Okay, suppose I have the thing of int I. Okay, int I, here I can go with the I equals to 50. Okay, that means suppose I want to access here show is there, right? Welcome, welcome plus I. Okay, that means it will shows 50. 50 by when first initially I is not assigned, but when you are creating an object, when you are creating an object, the value I is assigned hardcode by constructor. Okay, normally this constructor helps to initializing the class attributes or the class variables, right? like this like this I can create another constructor, public main of public main of int a, sorry, int I, simply anything, int I. Here I equals to I, we'll do one thing, we'll do it later. I equals to a, right? And simply system dot out dot println of constructor constructor with arguments. Okay, constructor with arguments, right? If I run this, what will be my output you are expecting? No change in the output. What you are seeing here, it will be my output only once. Why? Because why it will happens? Because here I am creating an object. When you are creating an object, it is a non-parameterized constructor, it is a parameterized constructor. If I am calling here as a non-parameterized constructor, because of that it will runs this main block, this constructor. Suppose if I pass a value of here 25, then then my thing will be changed. Constructor with arguments and welcome 25. What the value I am passing here, that is the thing. This constructor will helps to assigning, this constructor will helps to assigning the values to your class attributes. Okay, like this way this constructor will help. There are the mainly the three things. One was the default constructor, one with the constructor with the non-parameterized, one with the constructor with parameterized. If you observe the thing, if I am passing the values, if I am passing the values, it will go through this constructor. If I am not passing any values, go with this constructor. That means here the concept of constructor overloading can be happened. Constructor overloading means based on the parameters you are passing at the time of object creation, based on the parameters, suppose if I go with the another thing, main m2 equals to new main of this statement, this object calls the non-parameterized constructor, but this object will calls the parameterized constructor. Why? Here I am passing the parameters, based on that it will chooses which constructor I have to be execute. only one constructor will execute for every object, but it will be depends on your calling of the object or creation of the object. If you are passing any values, then it will go with the this parameter is a constructor. If you are go with if you are not go with anything, then it will go with the default constructor or the non parameterized constructor. That is the task. Okay, you have to understand the thing. When you are creating an object, if you are passing the values, then it will go with the parameterized constructor. Suppose imagine the thing. If I don't have this one, okay, I comment it for some time. Okay, if I don't have this one, if I run this, then it will throws an error. Why? Because I have only one constructor. I have only one constructor, that is also parameterized constructor. But in the m2 creation, I am not passing any values. Any values. If you observe the hierarchy, first thing, first thing, default. Next thing, parameter with no arguments. Next thing, parameter with the arguments. Okay, that is the hierarchy. First will be the default default constructor. Second will be the on the top of the default constructor, para constructor with no arguments. On the top of constructor with no arguments, constructor with the parameters. That means uh, if you have a doubt, what the doubt is here, if I am not passing any argument, then what the thing it has to be execute, what the thing it has to be execute, simply it has to execute default argument, default constructor. Defaultly it has to execute default constructor, but it will go with the this thing. You have to be understand the thing is default constructor not execute when the constructor you are right. Suppose you are writing a constructor with no parameters or constructor with parameters, any one, the default constructor concept will not exist, not comes into the picture. Because of that, the constructor will lies. So only the constructor I have, constructor with parameters, so I have to pass the values here. It will be the 70, 56, anything. Suppose you have the two things, constructor with the parameters and without parameters, it will be execute based on the things. And okay, I am calling only m1 dot show, right? Because of that I am not calling m2 dot show, so that is the different thing, right? So this is the thing you have to understand. Constructor is the setting the values at the time of initializing your object. When you have the query to setting the values at the time of creation object, then constructor will helps to you. Constructor topic will helps to you a lot in the in the AEM, a lot. Okay, next, we'll go with the this keyword. What was that this keyword and how it will goes, right? For that, one simple scenario. What is this? Okay, I'll remove this entire thing. Okay, and remove this. Okay, creating an object is not an issue. Okay, right. Ah, simply I have the things of int age. Okay, int age, string name. Okay, int age, string name. Observe the thing. What are these? These are the class variables. Okay, these are the class variables. Now what I am doing is I am creating one constructor. That constructor is also constructor with the arguments. Public main of int age, int name. Okay, int age, int name. Then age equals to age, sorry, age equals to age, name equals to name. Okay, and I have to create one message, void display. ah you have to observe the difference, right? It is a normal method. It is a constructor. What is the different? Constructor with a class name and a no return type, but method with the different names and with a return type. Must you have to write the return type, right? And in the display, I can write a system.out.println of name comma age. Okay. Right. Now what I'm doing? Okay. I have to pass here the 25 comma ram 25 comma ram. No, no suitable form print name age and why? But I have already that the things of println of name age, right? Why it will happen is because here I am using the same name, here I am using the same name, but the scope is different. It is the local scope. This age variable can you can access through the main constructor rule, and also the name I am using the same things, right? But those are the different. In my context, those are the different. But your compiler not understand the thing. For this purpose, the this keyword will helps you. This keyword, how it will help you is this what actually this refers is this refers to the current object instance. If you have the multiple objects, then you have to identify at which object I am there. Then this will helps to you. Okay, and this dot name, what is the error? Miss anything? Okay, sorry. Sorry. Yeah, yeah. String now. Now also the same thing. What is the issue? Yeah, that was not an issue. It is I am assigning the values, right? This is the this dot age equals to float. Another thing. Wait. System dot out dot println. Hmm. Okay. Suppose if I call this method m1 dot display, I think it is not an issue, right? It was not an issue. I think I missed with the spelling or something. String comma int. Okay, wait. Println system dot out dot println. What was the issue in that? Okay, wait. Actual and formal lists differ in length. Long is not applicable. One error code with a wait a minute. Int age string name and system dot out dot println 25 is the age, the passing the value, and the ram will be the thing, and public main. It was the fine. Okay, wait. Once control A, control C. Right. I think once I'll go with like this. Maybe the compatible issues. Oh, the thing is, he in the system dot out dot println, I am placing the comma instead of plus. It is the issue. Okay. Normally, if you have the same names of the local and the global, and when coming to the classes, this keyword helps to segregate from the local with the class variables. This normally refers to the current object instance. This normally refers to the current object instance. Suppose I have another thing. It was void display one. Void display one. Simply I can call this dot display. This dot display. Okay, and here I can call m1 dot display one. Then what would be my output? Suppose first you have to observe the hierarchy, how the workflow will go. M1 dot display one, that means it will comes here, and here it will goes to the this dot display one. That this means this and m1 is same. This and m1 is same. Okay, this and m1 is same. Both are refers to the current instance, right? M1 also the current instance, that this also the current instance, though, so nothing to change. That means m1 dot display, here it will call, so it will goes here, then it will print. You can observe the same output 25 rom. Okay, but I am calling here as the display one. What you have to understand here is this refers to the current object instance. Okay, third thing with the constructor with parameters. Okay, next, this keyword, in the this keyword, normally this refers to the this this keyword is like this. This refers to current object instance. Okay, current object instance, it is the this refers actual. uh, we already see the cases, right, where the this helps. First one is with we can observe the cases. This helps cases. Case one, the case one is mm, helps to refer current object current object instance variables. Okay, this is the case one. We already seen what it is, right? uh, Here we already seen this is the class variables, this is the class variables, and we are differentiate with or concurrent with local variables, the same variable names, but we are differing this thing, taking this as an example, right? Case one. Okay, this is the example. Suppose you have a two variables, okay, int age and string name. You are passing like this dot age and this dot name. That means this dot age is different, this age variable is different. This dot age means your current object variable. Current object variable helps to refer current object instance variables. This is the case one. Okay, and case 2. Case 2 is refers to current object Instance methods. We already see that word, right? Instance method. What is the thing? Mm, right here, if you observe, I am calling this dot display one. This can be refers the this dot display one is suppose refers to the current instance methods also the same thing, right? We can use this like, okay, take this as an example for the here. Simply this dot display you are calling, that means you are calling display by using this. Why this helps you, this keyword majorly helps you when you are go with the inner classes and the concept of the inheritance and all. This will helps you a lot, and when you are go with the DSA and all the things also, it will be helps you, right? Next thing, mm, okay, right. And another thing, suppose you already observe this thing, right? We'll do one thing, okay. Simply public main capital M, right? Public main of public main of mm, here I am not passing anything, okay, it's not an issue. mm. System dot out dot println of something object calling anything, okay. And here what I'm doing is I am creating another constructor, main public main of suppose the string, um, string a suppose. And what I'm doing here is I can go with one thing, string name, okay, string name, but I am changing with another thing, okay. This dot name, it will good, you are always using this dot name, this dot age and all the things, right? This dot name equals to a. Here the both the variable names are not same, but I am using the this dot name. Why? Because if you have to be adapt to that this dot a, right. And what I'm doing here is mm, void display of okay, void display in that system dot out dot println of system dot out dot println of suppose a I have to print, okay. And here I am passing the all the things, right? Right. I'm calling m1 dot display. I'm calling m1 dot display. Suppose if I call this, then where I am not placing that one here, okay, right? mm. Okay, a is not there, right? So name, run this m1 dot display one is not there, display, okay. Now null. Why? Because I am not assigning any value to the name, right? My name value is empty because of that the thing. Suppose I go with the this dot name, both are the same name, and this dot name here same. Why? Because the scope is the thing, right? So object calling, the constructor will calls another thing. But my thing here is I am I have to assign the value, but I am not passing here. I am not assigning the values, but I am passing here. simply I can call the constructor within the constructor. This of mm, suppose hello, this of hello, hello. What I'm doing here, I am calling the constructor with no parameters, but inside of the constructor with no parameter I am using the this. That means this will refers to the current object. What is the current object? This m1 only na. For that m1 I am passing the parameter, so it will call this dot name equals to a, and I am go to this was refers to the constructor. This concept we call as a uh, by using the this you can go with the constructor also. Case 3, this keyword helps to call the current class constructors also. Okay, it is the thing. And normally suppose imagine the thing. Yeah, this can majorly you have to understand the one thing is this is helps to refers to the current instance. Suppose um, I'll do one thing. I can use another method here. My method will be the okay main anything ABC. ABC is my method name. In that method, this is my method name, but here I am using here as a return type as class name. Okay, return type as class name. That is you have to understand. Return this. Okay, return this. I can observe what will be my output here. Okay, system dot out dot println of m1 dot abc. Okay, m1 dot abc. Okay, error it will go. It will go with the error. mn dot abc. It will displace the some memory location of the m1 where it stores. I am not confident with it will return m1, so I have to display m1 also. Then I can easily compare, right? Println of m1. Okay, both are the same only, right? This refers to the object instance that I am showing m1, and this is same here. Why? Because I have the only one thing. That means this always refers to the current object instance. You can return the this, that means it will be the class type, so I am using the class as a return type. Okay, it is the one case. Yeah, you can refers to the class and all the things. Okay, that will call as this is used to return class object. This helps to suppose you want to return a class object to the somewhere, then this will helps to you. Okay, I have to place this one here also. That is it is the thing. Okay, string and this. Okay, and the another case is this will this keyword helps to return current class object. Okay, current class object. Okay, this is the way your things will be helps you. Okay, I can paste this one also. Okay, we'll end up this session today. Okay, right. This is the thing about all.